What lies beyond the universe? Imagine that one day, humanity creates a spacecraft capable of traveling at a speed close to the speed of light. Decades pass, then centuries, then thousands of years. Behind it lie stars, nebulae, and entire galaxies. The spacecraft continues its journey ever farther into regions where no human has ever been before. But one question, which has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and dreamers for centuries, remains. What lies beyond the universe? Does the universe even have an edge? Or does space continue forever? At first glance, it seems that everything must have an end. Every road has a final destination, every book has a last page, and every ocean has a shoreline. That is why it is difficult for us to imagine something that has no boundary at all. Yet modern science suggests that the universe may be far stranger than anything we encounter in everyday life. The most remarkable thing is that scientists still do not know the answer. In fact, some physicists argue that the question itself may be misleading. If the universe includes all of space and all of time, then asking what lies outside, it may simply make no sense. To understand this idea, imagine the surface of the Earth. If an ant keeps walking in a perfectly straight line, it will never find the edge of the planet. Eventually, it will return to the point where it began, even though it feels as if it has traveled endlessly forwards. Perhaps the fabric of the universe is organized in a similar way, only not in 2 dimensions, but in a far more complex geometry. However, there is another possibility. The universe may be infinite. If that is true, then there is no wall, no boundary, and no gigantic cosmic doorway waiting at the end. Space simply stretches beyond anything the human mind can truly comprehend. No matter how far we travel, there will always be more of the universe ahead. Today, astronomers can observe only a tiny fraction of the entire cosmos. This region is known as the observable universe. Because light travels at a finite speed, we can only see objects whose light has had enough time to reach Earth over billions of years. Everything beyond that horizon remains invisible, not because it does not exist, but because its light has not yet reached us. It is rather like standing in a dense fog at night with a torch. You can only see the small area illuminated by its beam. Beyond the light could be almost anything, but you cannot know until the fog clears. In the case of the universe, however, the fog is time itself. It is precisely where our observations end that the boldest scientific ideas begin. One of the best known is the theory of the multiverse. According to this hypothesis, our universe may be just one of countless others. Each could possess its own laws of physics, different fundamental constants, and perhaps forms of matter completely unlike anything we know. Imagine a vast ocean with bubbles rising through its surface. Each bubble exists independently from the others. The inhabitants of one bubble could never see the neighboring bubbles because there is no ordinary space connecting them. If this theory is correct, then our universe is merely one bubble in an unimaginably vast cosmic ocean. An even more extraordinary hypothesis suggests that our entire universe may exist inside a gigantic black hole within an even larger universe. It sounds astonishing, yet certain mathematical models do allow for such a possibility. If this idea were true, then everything we know would be only a small part of a far greater reality that remains completely beyond our understanding. Equally fascinating is the theory of extra dimensions. We experience 3 dimensions of space and one of time. However, several modern theories propose that additional dimensions may exist, so tiny or so unusual that we are simply incapable of perceiving them. Perhaps what we call the universe is only a small fragment of a much larger multidimensional reality. Another question that has fascinated humanity is this: what existed before the Big Bang? Many people believe that the Big Bang marked the beginning of everything. But if time itself came into existence at that moment, can we even ask what happened before it? Some physicists believe the answer is no. In their view, there simply was no time before the Big Bang. Asking what happened beforehand is rather like asking what lies north of the North Pole. Yet other hypotheses suggest a different picture. According to one idea, the universe repeatedly goes through endless cycles of birth and destruction. After expanding, it eventually contracts, leading to another Big Bang, and the entire process begins again. Perhaps our cosmos has already experienced countless such cycles. What makes this even more intriguing is that each year our telescopes reveal galaxies farther away than ever before. It is as though we are gradually expanding the boundaries of the known universe. Yet the farther we look, the more we realize how little we truly understand. Even the most advanced technology allows us to study only a tiny portion of the immense cosmos. There is another thought that is both fascinating and humbling. Perhaps the human brain is simply incapable of fully understanding the true nature of the universe. Just as a cat could never master advanced mathematics, humanity itself may be limited by the very nature of its own intelligence. Some mysteries may forever remain beyond our comprehension. And yet the history of science teaches us something extraordinary. Not long ago, people believed it was impossible to determine what distant stars were made of. Today, astronomers can identify their chemical composition with remarkable precision. There was once a time when nobody even knew that other galaxies existed. Now we know there are billions of them. Perhaps 100 or 1,000 years from now, humanity will answer questions that today seem completely impossible. It is also possible that somewhere in the vastness of space, there are civilizations that have already solved the mystery of the universe. To them, the questions we struggle with today may be as simple as basic arithmetic. Yet the distances separating the stars are so enormous that meeting such civilizations may be extraordinarily unlikely. There is also a deeply philosophical side to this mystery. If the universe has no edge, how significant is our place within it? And if there are infinitely many universes, how many worlds might resemble our own? Somewhere, perhaps, there could be another planet remarkably similar to Earth, inhabited by beings asking exactly the same questions we are asking today. Perhaps the most astonishing thing of all is that every answer leads to even more questions. The deeper humanity explores the cosmos, the more mysterious it becomes. It is almost as though the universe invites us to continue searching while never allowing us to uncover all of its secrets. That is why the question, what lies beyond the universe, remains one of the greatest mysteries in the history of science. No one can yet give a definitive answer. Perhaps there is nothing beyond it. Perhaps there are countless other universes. Or perhaps the very idea of beyond simply does not apply to the cosmos at all. Yet, it is precisely this uncertainty that makes the universe so extraordinary. Every new space mission, every more powerful telescope, and every scientific discovery brings us one step closer to understanding reality itself. Although humanity knows far more about the cosmos today than it did a century ago, an endless number of mysteries still lie ahead. Perhaps the greatest discovery has not yet been made. Perhaps, somewhere in the depths of the cosmos, the answer to one of humanity's oldest questions is waiting to be found. And perhaps one day that discovery will completely transform our understanding of the universe and of our own place within it.